Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Zen Ascension with myself and Claire Thackray. Hello, Claire, again.
Hi, all right.
Can't be a week already, surely not.
It's a week. It's a week, and we're back. We've got a box of bombs ready as well.
Yeah, we've got a box of different things. So last week's video, we talked about this video being, and what we put down on our initial plans for the second video was a Q&A session. So that's what we're here to do for you guys. So we've got some questions for each other. Have you received any questions of anybody else outside of the social?
No. To be fair, I actually forgot. It was just this morning, and I forgot to pimp it this week.
Right.
That's not a nice word, I know. Apologies, but usually with something like that, I would pimp it out, but I've not had the time.
Yeah. Well, we've both been busy, haven't we? I've been Reiki. I think healing at the minute is just like it's off the scale for so many people. Yeah. So many people are really feeling it and really need that little bit of their own little paradise, I suppose, within the home, just to give them that moment of peace, of clarity, of zen, just to find themselves again, because it really is mixed up energies with this awakening, everything that's going on. And you were dealing with it last week. I was dealing with some of it last night, which was just like crazy visions and feelings, and I had to ask my spirit team to come in just to like ease it off a little bit, because it was really getting out of hand. So yeah, but feeling a lot better today. And yeah, so let's get on with it. Do you want to go first, or shall I?
Oh, I'll go first then.
Oh,
little pads. Let's get going. So my first, I've only got three. I thought I won't bombard you. What advice, wisdom would you give your younger self, knowing what you know now?
Right. Interesting.
Oh.
I would probably, if I could talk to myself or give myself advice from what I know now, I would, it's a bit of a cliche, but I would just say trust in the journey, and believe that you are what you think you are, because I think when we're younger, and we talked about this via text message this morning, didn't we, and how we've kind of like evolved and changed as people. And I used to smoke like a chimney and drink like a fish, and used to enjoy your nights out, and I enjoyed my nights out, but I didn't really enjoy them, to be fair. I was kind of like, I think it was for validation from other people for that, whereas in actual fact, the validation that I needed all the time was within me. And it was levels and layers within me that needed to be healed before I could move further down my true path, my true journey of learning, of healing and development. So that's what I would probably say to myself. Trust and believe.
It makes sense as well. And also, I think all is not what it seems. I'd like to say to my younger self, all is not what it seems.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. None of it was.
No, it's all an illusion. When you're trying to tell people, you're trying to explain to people that everything that you've been taught, or everything that you've been told as a person growing up and going through the indoctrination of what is known as education, the majority of it is a lie. Some of it does help you, but not a lot. But the majority of it is just an illusion, and it's a lie, and it's only created to keep you entrenched in a broken system.
Yeah. Definitely. It is. Everything is. I mean, obviously in the UK we've had this thing with the bills, haven't we? Last weekend we were talking about how we use energy and what we spend our money on. We don't spend a lot of money by any stretch of the imagination. But just been looking at everything like the telly. We've been talking about the telly a lot this week, and about the future of telly watching, because there's so much rubbish on there, isn't there?
Dead.
And
it's dead. And it's gone.
Yeah. And Gary said this morning, we've not watched it all week. And he said, you know, he said he does feel better for it. We feel better for it. And he says it's just doom and gloom. You'd be sat there and you'd just be listening to doom and gloom. I mean, even like some of the really good dramas like Downton Abbey and stuff that I used to love, I can't watch them. I can't, because I can feel and see certain things in it that I know is just a bit. Yeah, it's weird that telly put in living rooms has caused such separation, hasn't it?
Yeah. How would you answer that question for yourself? And have you got anything else you would say?
How would what advice and wisdom would you give your, very much like what you said, and the everything is an illusion and nothing is real, and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And that you'll get your happy ending.
Yeah.
And you won't be here forever. You're not going to be here forever. It's just temporary.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Right. I've got 5 questions.
You know, you said, didn't you? I thought, oh. Well, you've just done one now, so move on to your second.
Right. So my first question to you is, why do you think we are going through an awakening?
Oh, I like that. I think we're going through awakening because humanity is on a tipping point. And I think we've had the hard word. And I think Earth, because Earth, the planet Earth, is the lowest vibrating planet in the cosmos. And she's having to go through an awakening now. Not the energy of Mother Earth, but the planet. And in order for her to awaken and ascend and do her own, she has to, humanity, in order to live on Earth, has to do the same. So it's a case of, you want planet Earth, our playground, to still be around, you have to start waking up. And I think as souls, we're really damaged. I think everybody is so damaged because of past lives, generational trauma, programming. And I think humanity is in pain.
Yeah.
Drink problems, the drug problems, sex addiction, porn addiction, telly addiction, everything addiction.
Yeah.
And I think humanity is in pain. It's almost like a wailing that's coming from the earth. And it's basically when you, like, you don't know, when you're a child and you go to your teacher and 2 kids have been falling out and the teacher said, I want to bang both your heads together. Well, obviously teachers never said that. Was that parents? I don't know. But you know, that kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that, well, he said, she said, they said, but then. And it's a case of, no, we've all done this. We're all responsible for what's happened here.
Yeah.
And as well, like the sacred, I don't mean like in ritual stuff, that as well, but we've basically just handed ourselves over to these external beings. You know, they love to see vulnerable human beings that are in pain, that have addictions, that have holes, that have weak spots. And we've just, you know, having to have the best job, having to have more money, having to have the bigger house, the best car, the biggest holidays. And it's just become a playground for the external energies. Yeah. And I think that that's one of the reasons why, because otherwise it's just going to blow. I think it would just blow. I think she'd just blow and she'd start again. She'd form another planet with Mother Earth. Yeah. Because if you think about the poison that's going on this planet right now,
it brings in a little bit of what we just talked about with regards to like TV. You know, TV has influenced a lot of that. A lot of this bad stuff, this negativity has been influenced by TV, and that level of consciousness of where we were at that time, and pre then as well. And like you say, I think now we are at a tipping point with humanity, and it's this catalyst of events that seem to. I don't know if I think it's unbeknownst to those that bring these things in, like the COVID pandemic and all this sort of stuff. And but you know, that bringing of that in seemed to have an awakening effect on the planet, because many people just saw it for what it was, but didn't know why they had this feeling. And then they've just continued on this journey, and it's had a bit of like a double-edged effect for humanity. And it's either rise now, speak your truth and stand your ground, or forever being entrenched in this system of that just doesn't work. It is a failed system, and it is only for greed, power, money, and it has no concept of the power of nature and the power of Mother Earth. You know, but she is an awesome force, you know, and it's something that you don't want to mess with, because if you mess with her too far, she will just break, and she can just end us with easy.
She can.
But maybe this is awakening process as well, like you say, as Mother Earth goes through this awakening as well, she's seeing that we are having this chance, we are getting this chance to awaken and to better ourselves, and to actually start having an effect for the better in the long run. But she needs to purge, we need to purge, and we need to go through the processes that be for that healing.
And it's her boundaries as well. She's set out what she wants. She doesn't want pollution. She can't live with the pollution.
No.
Did you see that video that I did on mine where I said that Commander Ashtar came through and he says we're going to be using power from the third eye?
Yes.
Because we asked him about how do they charge their spaceships up? How do they travel about the cosmos?
Yeah.
And he says it's all intention. And you know, it's weird because this week we've done a bit of a tester and we've turned the heating off, put some socks on, started wearing jumpers again indoors. And when I'm not
layers on.
Same here, and when we're not thinking about it, we're warm. The minute we go, oh, I'm a bit cold, we both start. And I spoke to Gary about the power of the mind and what Ashtar said about thinking yourself warm. That's what they do. And I think this is the flip side of this thing with the UK. I think a lot of people, it'll cause a lot of pain and a lot of disharmony with the prices going up. But I think it's going to make us look at what we're spending. We need to look at the amount of electricity we're using, the amount of gas we're using, the amount of water we're using, the amount of shit that we're throwing down the drain, and the chemicals that we use on our body, everything.
Everything's going more back to a natural basis. You know, I mean, you see adverts everywhere now for herbal remedies and for herbalist courses, and you know, for using natural products to heal yourself and heal your body. And then you know, I've watched loads of videos with Dolores Cannon on TikTok and on YouTube, and watching some of her videos, and you just say, wow, like she's like just so, you know, because there is no such thing as sickness. It's the world that we're in and everything around us that causes these illnesses. And what is then brought into our being, into our thoughts, into our minds, what we're thinking, how we're feeling, and it just controls everything. And every aspect of our external also has the power to control our emotions, our mental focus, and everything. Because as soon as we see somebody with something else that's better than what we have, we say, oh, I want that, you know, and it creates this sort of, I don't know, it's like I suppose like an inner trauma, an inner wanting for something else, and it puts all these false signals out to the universe. Interesting.
So it's going to be interesting. We're in interesting times. Definitely an interesting time. I think anyone that's watching that is a bit panicked about that, about the whole thing with the bills going up, is look at what you're spending and try and have more faith. Because this is about, you know, we on Saturday night we had a blanket over us watching TV, but we not stopped watching TV then, right? We only watched it on a night, and half of that was just having some background noise. But we had the big blanket. I've still got the blankets from when I used to see clients in the spa, and massive big holistic blankets, and it's like, this is cozy. We didn't actually need it on, and it wasn't from a lack. It wasn't from a point of lack. It was, do we need to be churning all this CO2 out there?
Absolutely.
For the sake of a blanket.
You're so right. And it's like what we've done here. We've like looked at everything that we're paying out, and we've basically like pulled everything back in and said, right, well, I don't want that. I'm going to get rid of that. And then all these companies that don't want to lose your custom, they're actually giving you things away really cheaply for what you're already paying 3 times the price for. So if you actually want to play them at that game, pull it back, play them at their game, and you can save so much money. I mean, our Virgin Media that we had for like the internet and the TV and the phone line was like going up to like £65 a month, and I'm just like, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. So I went to leave, and I went to go and join with a different company, which was my mobile provider. As soon as they got wind of that, they were like, oh no, we've got a really good deal. We can give you this,
Yeah,
we can give you that. You know, and they're giving me exactly the same plus a little bit more for a third of the price. You know, well, if you can do that, why not just do that for everybody? And it's basically just greed. It's just greed, and that's all it is. So.
Yeah. But people are seeing that now. People are starting to see it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, because I think a lot of these not the tech companies, but places like Vodafone, etc., all that kind of tele companies, I think the whole telly thing, the entertainment industry is going to go bankrupt. Because I think people are going to start turning away from telly and just thinking, because it's rubbish. It's not what it used to be.
No.
Even like the historical stuff, that I love historical stuff, and I'm watching it now, and I'm not going to go into the ways and why-fors it's been played with, but they're playing with the character formation, yeah. And it's like, we watched something a couple of years ago, and I was desperate to see it, and we got it on the telly, and we were sat, and I said, I can't follow it, because they'd played with the characters that much. And I said, I can't follow this. I went to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't hardly watch TV at all. The most I watch now is I always have my YouTube on just for like quiet, gentle music on in the background if I'm just reading a book or if I'm doing anything with regards to the business and what have you. Other than that, I usually watch like sitcoms, like Frasier. I like watching Frasier.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all quite light-hearted TV, but even then, I've watched a lot of them that many times that I know the script backwards. So it's just kind of like, it's just kind of on in the background. It's just like background noise. And I think, well, why have I got it on? So now I've just like, I just put it off, you know, and I just put gentle music back on, because that helps me and helps my vibration more than watching stuff that I'm really interested in.
Yeah. I think it's all good, really. Shall I do my next question?
Go on then.
What advice would you give someone starting on their awakening path?
I think I've
Run. I'm joking.
I've got something similar, but what advice would I give someone on their awakening path? It's quite a hard one, that, because everyone's awakening path is different.
Yeah.
And everyone will go through a process in a totally different way to what I did. Mine was very much geared around mental health and hitting rock bottom, and then sort of like pouncing back up again off a springboard, and that's what kind of woke me up. I think the best thing I found for my awakening process and my inner discovery was starting with meditation. Meditation was a huge factor for me, and it helped me balance everything out, balance my mind, balanced the way I felt. Every aspect of my being just resonated with meditation so much. And if I hadn't found meditation, then I would probably still be stumbling around doing whatever I thought at the time would be right. But yeah, I suppose a lot of that as well, it comes down to what you really feeling you need to do, because we can be pulled in so many different directions when we go on like an awakening journey. We can experience things we just like don't understand, and we don't know what it is, and we don't know what's happening. And then we need to kind of like look for guidance. And luckily now, there is that many people, like obviously ourselves and many other people across YouTube and social media, where there are platforms of people that are on an awakening journey or have been on an awakening journey for some time, and a lot of them have their own experiences. So it's trying to match your own experience with somebody else's, and even though you can match it with their experience, it still won't be the same as yours. It'll still be different, and it's unique to you. And every part of the process, you just need to go through it. You just need to try to understand it. If you don't understand it, try and reach out to somebody. If you've got nobody to reach out to, then, like I was in that place, I had nowhere to reach out to, and I really didn't understand what was going on and why I was seeing this and hearing that, and so many different things that were occurring. But then things started popping into place eventually after some time. I became sort of, like I say, I found somebody that introduced me to meditation, and then the next thing I was being given loads of synchronicities about things to follow, about looking into crystals. And so that was my next thing. I was like, well, why am I being shown loads of these? And then I learned about the word synchronicity and what it actually meant, and going down and following these little messages, these synchronistic messages that were being played out. And at the time, I just thought, well, I'm just going absolutely batshit crazy because I really don't know what it means or what's going on. But something deep within me, and I think because of the meditation, that taught me to look deep within me. So deep within me, I had that feeling and I had that calling to go in that direction. So I would say anyone starting their awakening journey, just follow your gut, follow what is being told to you through your, whether you want to call it your guides that are trying to give you messages, whether you want to call it your higher self, or whether you want to call it your intuition, whatever method or terminology you want to give it, then just follow that and go with it and see where it takes you. It may take you down the wrong path, but then you will discover what is the wrong path, to then turn and go onto a different pathway and discover the right path. And sometimes it could take you many different turns in direction to find the right path. But that's also part of your awakening process, is about learning what's right and what's wrong, what doesn't resonate with you right now, what does resonate with you, and picking up little bits of information along the way, because the more information you collect at the beginning will mean something so much more further down the road. So when I was being called in to use crystals and I was just being drawn into them, and tarot cards, I kept seeing pictures in magazines and newspapers on the TV about tarot, and I was thinking, why am I being shown this all the time? So then I followed that, and I was just like, right, okay. So then I started like dabbling with that and working with that. So yeah, it's all these little messages just to try and pay attention to. But sometimes you've probably found yourself, sometimes the messages aren't clear, they're not concise.
No, they're not.
It's like repetition of numbers, like synchronistic numbers that get shown to you every time you look at your phone. It's like 21 21, 11 11, and then you have to research what these numbers are. But it's all about this learning and developing and building up your armory of information to help you in the future, because the more you build now, further down the line, someone else is going to be in your exact same shoes, and you'll be able to help them on their awakening journey.
Yeah. And it's also like us coming back, because we've lived in a world where everything is taught to us and given to us and explained to us. The awakening path is being your own guru, it's being your own magician, your own alchemist. So the guides will give you some little, like a piece of a jigsaw, you have to go find the rest.
Yeah.
And some people go, I can't make sense, I'll chuck it out. That's what some people do.
Yeah.
And there's others that go, right, I'm gonna find the pieces for this jigsaw and I'm gonna get it to fit.
Yeah. That's something I always say on my own channel. And it's actually a video I've just watched on TikTok before I came on here. And it was someone talking about being your own guru. And it's so right. You know, everyone is different, and everyone's journey is so unique to them, to their progression, to their awakening journey, that you have to do the work yourself. And like you say, everyone is so used to just being given everything on a plate. The awakening journey is about you. It's about your soul. It's about your connection to everything within your life. And as we've said before in other videos about the awakening, a lot of these people that you will have resonated with on some level, they will just all fall away, and all of a sudden you'll be left on your own, and you'll be alone. And I was on my own for 5 or 6 years, just like, where's everybody gone? But I needed that alone time to develop me, to develop my meditation, to really start to discover lots about me and where I need to go and what I need to do. And you know, when I started meditating, I couldn't meditate for long. It was like 2, 3, 4 minutes. But over time, just build it up and build it up, you know. But 2 minutes of peace, of no constant belittling of your mind or your head constantly chattering. 2 minutes of peace is a hell of a long time without any of that. And when you find that 2 minutes of total peace and just bliss within yourself, you want to achieve 3, and then you want to achieve 4, and you just want to increase it and increase it. And even now, you know, some days I'll go to meditate, it just won't happen. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't flow. And then the next day I'll be sat for an hour meditating. But so every day is different, and every day is a learning curve. So some days when I can't meditate, it's about using that time effectively for my energy. What does my energy need? If I can't settle, right, I'll go and do some exercise. I'll tire it out a little bit. I'll utilize it elsewhere.
Yeah. Or you can paint as well. Because sometimes, like you say, sometimes you can't. And sometimes I think I trigger people when I say that. Sometimes it's not possible every day to meditate. If you've got a single mum and she's like, whoa, with the children. So what you say to that, well, can you not have 5 minutes stood at a kitchen sink and looking out in the garden and just seeing the birds while you're washing up?
Yeah.
Or just reading your book, not a magazine, a book, or just, you know, I don't know, doing some ironing.
Yeah.
These daily chores, if you focus right, can actually be quite mindful. And that can be a great way to get yourself used to being in a meditative state, is to just have some silence while assigning. When you're washing up, look out in the garden. What birds can you see? What's the weather doing? Is the sun out? Is it raining? What do you feel with the rain? What do you feel with the sun?
Totally agree with that. Totally resonate on every level with that. I mean, I sometimes sit if I'm at a red light in the car, I don't go too deep into a meditation, but if I'm at a red light, you know, I'll just sit and I'll just listen to the sound of the car. I'll watch what's going on around me. I'll just be in that centered place. I'll just be in the now at that point. And then the lights will go to green and I'm off and I go off. Or if I'm sat waiting in a car park, waiting to pick someone up, or if I'm going food shopping, or before I get out of the car, I will just have a few minutes to myself and just like, I'll listen to whatever's going on around me. I'll be aware of everything external, and I'll just bring all that to the internal of what I feel within me, what's in the car, the sound of the radio, whatever it may be, and just have 2 or 3 minutes. And it doesn't have to be 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. You know, it can be, like you say, ironing clothes. I mean, I used to, I don't not so much now, but I used to love ironing and just listening when I was running the iron over a shirt or a pair of trousers or whatever, and just tuning into the sound of the iron going over the cloth, over the material, you know, and it's just that mindfulness act of just tuning into that. And it's just like, and then running your hand over the material and just feeling the connection between you and it. It's just like, wow. And being aware of every fiber of the cloth through your hand. It is so mindful.
Even like cleaning as well. When I'm cleaning, it's not just physically cleaning, it's cleaning the last week's energy off to make way. That's my intention when I'm cleaning. It's cleaning that last week's energy off. Anyone we've had in here, anything that's been said, done, anything, if we've been ill or whatever, and then welcoming in the new, getting the wind, and that's mindful as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all within easy reach as well. It doesn't have to be expensive. And
yeah. Right. Question 2. What has been your best go-to tool to help you with your awakening journey?
The best go-to tool? Do you know, I'd probably say YouTube. I'd probably say YouTube. Because I've been able to not speak to, obviously, but meet different, not even meet, but watch different people and different perspectives. But aside from that, it'd probably be the healing, the shamanic healing and Reiki healing that I've done. Because it's helped me to understand why certain aspects of my life weren't working, why I had certain areas that were in pain, why certain things were unraveling the way they were. And I think with the healing, it makes you realise the reason behind it all, that you're not in pain because you're ill. You're not depressed because you're mentally ill. You're depressed because there's something else there.
Yeah.
I think that's answered
it. Yeah.
There isn't a, yeah. I think with YouTube, I think you've got to be careful what you watch, because there's a lot of dark posing as light out there at the minute as well. And it's like, whoa, a lot of brainwashing stuff and a lot of mind control going on within this community.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree there. Yeah. So I mean, anyone is starting their awakening journey are looking for, you know, someone to help them, even though they are their own guru. They might want a little bit of research or a little bit of advice from somewhere, you know. Just be careful who you do listen to, because with everything, with light and dark, you know, within this community there is light and dark as well, and it's trying to discern the difference between what resonates well with you from within and what. Sometimes I'll watch videos and I'm just like, don't like you. I'm not sure about you. You've got a funny energy, but I don't like your eyes. There's something in your eyes. I don't like that. And, you know, and so, yeah, so it's luckily for a lot of us, we're at a point where we can kind of tune into their energy, and we can see that there's something not quite fitting or not quite right. We probably don't know exactly what it is, but there's just that intuitive inner feeling that just says, not keen on that, but that last video with such and such was absolutely amazing, and that resonated with me on every single level. Every fiber of my being said, yes, I need to do that. And that's what you need to do. That's what you need to follow.
Yeah. And also, going back to that question, I think higher self and guides, being able to tune into your guides and your higher self makes so much sense, because even when you do feel alone, because I've never really felt alone with it, but I know it's different for other people. I know I lost a lot of people, I lost a lot of friends, etc. Once you start with, there was no arguments. It was just, they just went. It was weird. So yeah, connecting with your guides, your higher self, and really getting a good mentor as well, because that's the thing as well. No, there's not a lot of people that awaken, go and get themselves a regular healer or a regular mentor, even if it's somebody online that they watch. They just go out there wildly, and it's like you need someone to give you some grounding and some. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I mean, I watch like some people and I think, wow, you just like, you're vibrating so high, and your videos are really informative and really good, but they're just like blowing out the top of your head just with all this energy. So yeah, having someone just to bring you back to base, just bring you back, and just trying to explain things in a more, like what we try to do, really, in a more black and white context, and it's just like, you know, it's like meat and potato, like like explanation. Just, you know,
keeping it
simple, keeping it grounded, and keeping it focused on that level, because we're all learning, we're all evolving, we're all developing, and nobody really finishes an awakening journey. It's just continuous. You just keep leveling up and leveling up, and as soon as you realize that you know, there's no end to it really, you kind of just have to go with it, experience it.
Yeah. Should we recommend some people to watch? And then what I can do is, when we've done the video, I can put the pages underneath in the description.
Yeah, could do. Who do you like to watch?
Bajerski.
Love him.
I got into him from your channel. I've just bought some stuff from his shop for the new house. So I'm like, yes.
I'm your unofficial mentor.
Yeah, I like Mark. No, I do like Mark. He's very different, isn't he? But I like him. I do like him.
He's a Yorkshire lad as well.
Yeah. Mark Bajerski, Amanda Ellis.
Ellis, I'll have to check her out.
Yeah. Reiki Zen.
Reiki Zen, yeah, of course.
Teal Swan, is it Teal Swan? Teal Swan.
Yeah.
She's one of the I mean, I've only recently got into Teal Swan. She does more like 1 minute videos, and she's more of a motivational speaker. But I do, yeah, especially for the divine feminine as well.
I don't like some of the videos I can watch, and some of them I'm just like, you're creeping me about a bit there.
Oh, Teal Swan.
Teal Swan, yeah. I'm very much up and down with her. Some videos I'll watch and I'm just like, oh yeah, I love that video. The next one, I'm just like, no, can't watch that one. Turn her off. I don't know.
Yeah, I must admit, it's only over the past few weeks I've started. It's only a recent stuff. I've not watched any of her past stuff. That's the thing. Everybody has not a chink in their armor, but I don't know. I think you've got this. It's about your own sense of discernment, and not everybody that you follow you're going to agree with all the time. Otherwise, that's a bit.
Well, yeah, because then you just kind of like following them, and you're not discovering yourself.
You're swapping that old world, that old 3D world for yes, sir, yes, madam, yes,
and you're
doing it again. It's like
yourself. Yeah. Who do I watch? So obviously, I watch Matt Bajerski, Claire Thackray. Buy a later, pet. I watch Mark Bajerski. Gigi Young is another really good one. She's very, very on the mystic scale. She talks a lot about like a lot of earlier videos are very much about your psychic gifts, your intuition development, and what have you. But later ones now is very much about the rise of Isis, the rise of the divine feminine, about aliens, about ETs, about Atlantis, ancient civilizations, all that. She goes really, really deep into stuff. And some of her videos and lectures are like 3 hours long, and I'm just like, sorry, Gigi, I can only manage half an hour, today. But she's got some really, really good videos. Aaron Doughty, I like watching him. He's one of them that's like really kind of like high vibrational out there, but he used to work in retail, and he had like ADHD or something like that, and then discovered it was nothing to do with that. It was just to do with him, and he had to learn how to develop, balance his own energy and his own energy system from within. Victor Otto, I like listening to his videos. Again, him and Aaron Doughty are very, very closely linked together. They're good mates, and they go to Sedona quite a lot and do sort of awakening retreats and what have you. Costs a hell of a lot of money, but yeah.
I know, that's the thing. A lot of it does cost a lot of money. I actually watch another guy on YouTube, and his channel's called the Ramblings of Bry. And he's probably in his 60s. He's got a big white beard, and some of his videos are quite spiritual, quite about meditation, but he's just a very down-to-earth bloke. He goes out walking his dog, talks about what's on his mind, and some of it's about like mental health, and because he used to work in that field, but he's had many different jobs. But yeah, his videos are very grounding and very, very nice. Just like quite a nice bloke. So yeah. I'll try and get those beneath. I'll put them beneath and so click below to watch. It helps people, doesn't it? Because otherwise you go, I don't know what to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it your turn now?
I think it's my turn. What's your daily, nightly routine?
Oh, well, depending on what my work routine is. So obviously, if anyone doesn't know, I have like a part-time job alongside the Reiki business. So if I have like an early start, then I can't fit it in. However, today, if I do get a chance on a morning, it's usually a meditation and a self-healing Reiki session on the morning. And I will get up and I will do whatever. It might be something like this, it might be client work. And then on a night time, before I go back to bed, it's usually a self-healing Reiki session. It might only be for 10-20 minutes. It might not be very, very long. And then I'll just put some meditation music on, or maybe guided meditation, and just fall asleep to that. I also like to have various crystals around me to keep me. I always wear like a protection bracelet while I sleep as well. And I have like the ones that I wear on my neck, I just stick on the floor next to the bed, or put them under the pillow. And I change. I've actually just recently changed my combination of crystals that I do wear, because I don't like always wear them, but I do feel sometimes that I like to, when I get a new crystal, I like to wear that crystal for quite a few days to just get attuned to it and let it build on my energy and what have you. And then after so long, I'll just be like, right, I'm going to change that. I'm going to stick something else in. And it's strange how it does have like, so I had a white howlite, and I had I think it was a black onyx and a moldavite. So I always wear the moldavite, and I found that really, really good for my awakening journey and leveling up a little bit. But then I took the howlite out and I put a citrine in, and I was just like, wow. And I just felt like that day, then I put that in, like maybe half an hour later, I just felt like, you know, it just brought me this sense of power, I suppose, from within. It really felt really good, felt really confident. And I almost felt like when I was walking, it sounds daft, but I've almost felt like when I was walking around, with my sort of my solar plexus out, like leading the way. It's working with that energy. I probably wasn't at all, but it felt like I was. I felt like I was taller and I was walking better. I was walking, whereas sometimes you'll walk, especially if you're at work or if you've had a long day, you can sometimes get a bit like, oh, dragging your feet a bit. But like the whole day, I just felt energized. That's the word, energized, really energized and powerful with it.
I'm looking into getting some Shungite for the new house. For the bedroom and living room and office, obviously. I saw, was Mark Bajerski? I watched a video, one of his recently, talking about Shungite. And I thought, oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got to pee.
That's the thing with crystals, is take your time with crystals.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out and buy them all. No. I made that mistake, and I've got crystals that why did I buy that? Whereas now what I do is like, oh, Shungite, that's resonant. I think I might get some of that.
Yeah, it's a lovely crystal. I always remember when I first got a piece of Shungite, I picked it up from the shop and I put it in my pocket in the little wrap, that the little bag that they put it in for me. And I was walking home, and I probably live maybe 10-15 minutes away from the town centre. So I just walked there and I walked back. Didn't have a headache at all walking there. Bought the Shungite, put it in my pocket, was walking home, and I got halfway home and my head was just absolutely pounding. I said, what is this? I thought, it's the Shungite. The Shungite's doing something. Because obviously Shungite operates against blocking EMF and a lot of the frequencies and whatever. And then I was thinking, you know what? Is it that we're so used to just walking around being battered with these invisible rays that we're totally unaware of what is actually going on? And is the Shungite actually working now? And it's starting to work on them frequencies and push them away. And my brain is actually starting to function better.
Oh, yeah.
And it's giving me this headache, and it's actually starting to heal. And I had this headache for nearly an hour with this Shungite. And another thing that I found it's really, really good for is it is really good for headaches. So if you suffer with headaches or migraines, sitting and I'll just run it on the third eye there. I'll run it on the temples, not just on the back of the head, and just using that maybe 5 minutes in each area. and at the end of it, headache's gone. Really, really powerful. It's an amazing mineral. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, also as well, when I get it, I'm going to get in the bedroom, one of the rooms, and on each bedside table, to stop as you're laying down, to stop the waves coming in as you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
It's called Silicon Valley. That's another one. That's really good for EMF and that sort of stuff. And that was on one of Mark's videos. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna get a piece of that. So I've actually got I've got 2 pieces, because it was Dan's mum that wanted to get me some, and she got a piece, but they never delivered it. So she wrote to them and said, oh, I haven't received it, even though it said I had. So then they posted it out again, but then she actually received the 2 pieces. She got 2. So I got one downstairs and one upstairs in each room.
Crazy, isn't it?
Quite chunky, quite big pieces.
Yeah. I hope when I move out in Lincoln, there's going to be something, because again, there's nothing like that in Leeds. There's no shops like that in Leeds. No local, not even in the city centre. I don't think in the city centre.
You probably will in Lincoln. It's, I can imagine it being quite, oldie worldy, maybe. I can imagine it being like, lots of little nooks and crannies around high streets and things, with the little magic shops in, and little lovely local places, independent places you can go to.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to getting there, because Leeds is just like, it's too much. It's too much for me. I can't deal with Leeds, anywhere in Leeds at all.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been that comfortable here. You just pretend you are. You think you convince yourself you're comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's more countryside based as well. So there's much more green belt. Much more green belt than there is in Leeds.
Yeah.
Also, as well, I'm going to laugh at this, but Amazon for crystals. I used to get my crystals from Amazon, and there's a few of them now that I'm looking at, and I'm like, yeah, they just don't seem as.
Yeah, I'm not overly keen.
Yeah.
I try not to buy online. Well, I don't buy online crystals. I've had a look at the ones on Mark Bajerski's website, but they are quite pricey. So I'm just like, So I just think, well, you know what? I've got the tools myself. I can do that with them crystals myself, with the healing, with whatever work I want to do with them, and I'll just meditate with them for hours. And sometimes I can tune into crystals relatively quickly. Other times it might be weeks before I feel anything from them. But yeah, they are unusual, but they're absolutely amazing. Great healing if anyone's ever want to look into crystals.
Yeah, there are shops like Psychic Tree, aren't there? And if you can't, like, if you like me, you can't get to a crystal shop.
Yeah.
I won't get Amazon. I mean, I get tarot and stuff from Amazon, but even that, there's the energy of Amazon is really changing. I mean, we used to use it a lot. We've laughed about it, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it's really changing.
Yeah.
It's getting dark.
Psychic Tree is a good one. I use Psychic Tree quite a bit. And get like incense and things from there, and I have got crystals from there before, and they've been okay, actually. They've been really good. Yeah. Right. This is the question that was similar to yours before. So how would you describe an awakening to someone who doesn't know what it is or what's happening?
Oh, yeah, you've done this, because I am going to sound like batshit crazy now. Awakening. Some form of crisis happens, or a lot of or if a crisis happens to make you look at yourself and your life. And the crisis is internal, external, and global. You'll start to see internal stuff. You'll start to question things around you. You'll start to question your health. You'll start to question the people around you. Then you'll start to question the global stuff. And there'll be moments when it all becomes very overwhelming. But take your time with it, layer by layer.
Yeah.
And again, there's no size fits all. Some people have a physical where they become physically ill. Some people it's mental health. Some people the world falls apart in 24 hours. Some people it's all gradual and they've been doing it. Well, I think we've all been doing it since birth. But yeah, something will come in. You'll start to question. It could be a big thing. It could be gradual questioning. And it could go over years, because mine went over years looking back. I know we once did a video, didn't we, on your channel, and I talked about my honeymoon. Well, that was, I think, a phase of it. It started around about 2009.
Yeah.
But there is no right or wrong way. There is no right or wrong way. It's just, you just got to go through it.
Yeah. Just follow, isn't it? Follow the intuition. And just go with what you feel is right for you. And if that means taking days out and not doing anything and just resting up, then listen to your body as well. Because if it's a physical thing, if it's affecting you physically, which it can, and then taking that time out and just having the rest, and like you said, take it slowly, because a lot of people, which I've talked about on my channel, where they've said, oh, I want to awaken, I want to open my third eye, I want to do this, I want to do that, and they want to just do everything straight away, and they want to do it so fast, and then when it happens, they're just like, shit. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I'd just take my time with it. But by then it's just like, you got to deal with it now. You've got to deal with the consequences of things that you've wanted. So yeah, take your time with it. That's what I would say as well, definitely.
Yeah, step by step, and just love yourself as well. And you'll just realize everything will change. You don't really have to do anything, because you find you can't go to the big parties anymore. You struggle out in the big supermarkets, and I can do it. It's not like an agoraphobia thing, but I have to really look after myself energetically. I couldn't spend all day in IKEA, but like if in a couple of weeks' time we've got to go to IKEA to get some wardrobes. So I'll go there and we'll come. I'll be protected, do it, and come back.
Yeah.
But you see people there all day, every Saturday in these retail parks. It's like
same thing. It's like the same thing week in, week out, and no variation to the lives. It's just like, oh my God, is that how you live every week? Really? Go in the country, go to the park, go to the seaside, ground, get into nature, think of yourself, work on you, and it's like.
Yeah, the last time we went to IKEA, it was just before Christmas, and we were doing a big family Christmas here, but we needed loads of plates, and Gary says IKEA you can buy them individually. So we got there, and IKEA, steps, loads of car park, everything. And this fella was coming down. He says, "You've got no chance. There's a 3-hour wait to get in." And I was like, "Nah." And we got up to the door, and there was a 3-hour wait to get in, and they were all round queuing. COVID marshals, orange jackets, visors on, and it was like, oh, and I just stood there and I went, "Are you lot mad?" I went, "We're not queuing in that." And we had to travel around a few places just to get some plates, but I said, "There's no way I'm waiting 3 hours with them sheep." No, but there were. And I said to Gary, says, obviously they didn't hear me say any of this. I said, I've probably been slapped. But afterwards I said, they were like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Just nothing. It was like, you're in a queue. It's like a couple of Saturdays before Christmas, and you're waiting 3 hours to get into a shop that you could go in at any time of the year.
Exactly.
3 hours.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
With those COVID marshals there. The little note boards and oh God.
I know. Every day I used to see one, I just think, oh God, here we go. Here we go. Right, I'm going to do one more question, because I need to run after this. My last question, and this is quite a biggie. So, what's your thoughts on ETs, aliens, and the awakening of humanity?
All right, you're meant to be picking that up. I'd cancel that, drop him a text.
Quick.
Right, yeah. I'll try and do it. Well, basically, the world has been run by reptilians for quite some years, mainly predominantly reptilians. And we as humans have allowed that to happen. Not just reptilians, greys, all kinds of things. I'm not going to go through all species. And there's light and there's dark. There's good reptilians, there's bad reptilians. And I've even forgot what the question was. We're all galactic. We're all galactic frequency. We're all angel frequency. We're all elemental. We've all been and done everything. And at the minute, the awakening and the new earth is about the new earth going back to the light and back to everybody, not just the reptilians, not just this, not just that, but for all species. So all species can reincarnate onto planet Earth safely and enjoy the human experience without one species being king of the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it.
You can do it. Do you think that's why we're seeing and hearing more about sightings and aliens, because they're prepping us ready for something else coming? You know, like we did that post, didn't we, on Facebook and Instagram, where can't wait till summer when everything's back to normal, and then summer comes and there's a huge flying saucer in the sky.
Well, I'll share a quick tale with you. On my wedding pictures, there was a picture of my mum in the back of the wedding car. Mum's still alive, and we were flicking through on the telly the pictures, and I stopped. And I went, oh my God, that's my nana. And my nana had superimposed herself over my mum's face. She'd passed. And it was, we've shown this to everybody, and everybody have said, oh my God, like glasses, mum don't wear glasses. And it made me feel really funny, like really dizzy, and like really, that was a little bit like, not because she was bad or dark, it was just like the frequency, if that makes sense. So if I'm sat here now and I see a spaceship hovering over this house, it'd make you feel funny. Because it's just like, you just saw, this is why it's a gradual process, it's gradual.
Yeah.
Flicker out, oh, there's something up in the sky, a funny light, or that kind of a thing. We lay in bed often and say, can you hear that? And you can hear the spacecraft. We can hear spacecraft. Like a rumbling. It's not the police chopper. It's none of that kind of stuff. It's spacecraft. Yeah.
It's a totally different frequency, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
It's not even like a sound. It's like, yeah, it's a different frequency, a totally different vibration, which I suppose when you understand energy and you can feel it, then you just kind of know it's different. It's not of this realm, I suppose.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got lots to talk about on this channel, haven't we?
Oh, we have, yeah. I mean, I've had to skip a question out as well. So we might have to do it. You know, if this is sort of like triggered a few people or created any questions for other people that watch the channel, then maybe you know, drop your questions below, and then we can do another one.
We'll do another one in a few weeks.
Yeah,
we'll gather the questions up.
Yeah, a few weeks time, and just,
if there's any questions on awakening, any questions for us, our jobs, our work, our routines, anything you're unsure of in your own life at the minute, in as far as to healing, awakening, we'll answer in the next one.
Yeah.
Comment below.
Right, okie dokie. Well, it's been fun, and it's been an hour nearly already, so it feels like we've just started.
I know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share, please.
Yes, do all those things that she said. Right, thank you very much for watching once again, and we'll be in touch soon. We'll see you soon. It's good night from me.
And it's bye-bye from me.
Bye, Claire. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.